I don't want to be so hard on men, not at all, because I am not a man and I don't understand men's struggles. I don't understand your struggles. I don't. And I did make a video, like, I'm going to put this in the beginning of the video. The video is called, because I made a video, like, are men capable of love? And then this is part of the video of, are women capable of love? And, I feel like I was kind of going a little hard, just a little bit, hard on men. But I do want to thank men for the ones that do show up, the ones that do protect, the ones that do stand up and advocate for women. I want to thank you guys for that, because it takes people of power. It takes someone in a power position to make a change, to make the change we need in the world. And I'm not saying change has not been made at all. I'm not saying that. So I don't want men to feel like I've been attacking them or saying, all they're capable of is harm, because that's not true. And that's not what I mean. Like, if you watch my videos, me, my character, my heart, and my intent is never to bash or belittle anyone. So I do want to thank all the men who have been supportive to women. I want to thank all the men who have been friends and good friends and good father figures, good role models, good protectors, good leaders. I want to thank those men, because I don't want, like I said, you guys to feel like I am coming for you. But as a woman, we have dealt with a lot of things, a lot, especially as a woman of color, like a lot of oppressions that you will never understand. And I think the whole thing is understanding and wanting each of us to understand both of our point of views. Like, how could we change the world and work together if we can't even have a simple conversation and understand each other's experiences and understand each other's pain? So I did record the video previously. You can tell because the light is different. But I just wanted to put this, like, I guess, disclaimer in the beginning of the video, because I don't want men to feel like I'm constantly attacking them, because I'm not. Like, I love men. I love all the men in my life. Honestly, the men in my life currently has made such an impact to me, impact to my character, my confidence, my beliefs. I'm telling you, like, I would not be who I am today. I can't say that, because I'm who I am today because of me. But the support that I've gotten from many men recently, it was just love. It's love. It's love. So that proves my answer. Are men capable of love? Yes. Now this video is about, are women capable of love? I hope you guys enjoy. I made a video about if men are capable of love. So it's only fair if I make a video, about if women are capable of it. When I say love, I'm not just talking about romantic love. I'm talking about love in general, because it's one thing to have love for someone and you want to protect them and take care of them, but it's another thing to not love something at all, but you still want to protect it and take care of it and make sure nothing happens. Men are very good at compartmentalizing, and I think women aren't. I think women are love. If I'm being honest, in my opinion, I think women are love. And I say this because women bring life into this world. We honestly are that direct link to source. We're bringing life into this world. If you're spiritual or not, that's a really big deal. That's life or death. Women are honestly in charge of life. Life is love. Women, in our DNA, we have that nurturing, empathetic nature. It's in our DNA because we have to raise and birth children. Women are extremely nurturing, and if you look at the rates of mothers, single mothers, it's 90% single mothers, it's 10% single fathers. It's just like, if you loved your child, you know what I mean, you wouldn't leave them. If you had any love in your heart, would you leave your child? Would you abandon them? And I'm not trying to stir up or trigger anybody, but if you think about it, so many men have left their children. I don't think that's love. So when I say I think women are love, I do, because women are compassionate in nature. If you look at, because people love statistics, if you look at mental health disorders and you look at psychopathy, 1.5% to 3% of men are psychopaths. 0.5% 5% to 1% of women are psychopaths. And I think it's because of that men are taught to not be emotional. They are bullied when they are being emotional. They're being told to man up or stop being the P word, you know what I mean? When we think of emotions, we always associate that with women. You know, they say to manipulate a woman, you have to get into her heart. But they say to manipulate a man, you have to get into his lust, his eyes, what he sees, because they say men are visual and men are emotional. Even with that saying, what does that tell you? Women are just more innately emotional. You can't fight it. Because if you had emotions, if the world was emotionally run, the things going on nowadays would not be going on. The crime, the assault, the abuse, the war, that would not be going on. If we had more emotion, if we lived through our heart, if we lived through our soul, that would not be going on. Not saying that men aren't capable of that, because that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying innately. I'm talking about the average man, the average woman, not the spiritually evolved man and the spiritually evolved woman. I'm talking about the average woman. You know, on a spiritual, more evolved term, you know, one has to be connected to themselves, their heart, their higher self, God, all that stuff, you know. And I think one has to be evolved for us to truly see change in the world. But if you don't believe in religion, if you don't believe in spirituality, if you just believe in human nature, I think women are love. And I think men can love and are capable of love, but I think it's just harder for them. And if a woman is cold, and a woman is abusive, and a woman is manipulating and deceitful, I think it is coming from emotion. I think she may be abused or wronged in her life. They say there's nothing worse than a woman's scorn. So it is coming from an emotional standpoint. But I think if you're able to leave your child, if you're able to abuse women, children, animals, if you're able to just cheat on someone and not look another way, not feel some type of way about it, I don't think you have emotions, and I don't think you are capable of love, if I'm being honest. Are women angels? No, not at all. Can women do cruel things? 100%. Can women abuse? 100%. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that it's different levels, because I feel like the average man, when he thinks of a woman, he thinks she's using him for his money, or she's cheating on him, or using him for clout, or, you know, superficial, you know. But a woman, when she thinks of a man using her, you're using me for my body, you're using me for pleasure, you're using me to be your maid, your therapist, you're using me to birth your children, you're using me for all these aspects, you're using me to abuse me, you have more power and control than me, so you could honestly end up unaliving me. I think it's so many things that, like, you have to think about and put yourself in the opposite person's, the opposite gender's shoes. Because you men, you know, you guys are thinking about it like, yeah, your emotions get hurt, right? And yeah, you could have intense trauma, and yeah, you can be super used for your money and all that stuff. But women are looking at it as, I might be unalived, you know? I might be unalived. I might be hit, mistreated, assaulted physically. Like, there's so much more onto our plate that you guys don't even realize. Like, you think this gender war or all this stuff is coming from a place of hate and bitterness, but at the end of the day, it's coming from a place of survival. It's coming from a place of just women trying to protect themselves. At the end of the day, it does come from a place of survival, you know? Because if you think about it, with what's going on now, like the 4B movement and everything, women are unwillingly and really trying to just stop mixing and mingling with men because of their own safety. But it's like, when men hear that, they get upset and they take offense to it. But women just don't, they're over it. They're over feeling like they have to constantly go out of their way to protect themselves. You know, why is it when a woman goes out, it's telling a woman how to protect herself and what is she wearing and make sure you carry your weapons, but it's not men don't assault women, men don't abuse women, men protect women? Why is it not like that? You know, you can say women are bitter and this, that, and the third, but like, men, is your life really in danger? And I'm not saying men aren't getting unalived by women. I'm not saying that at all. But look at the statistics. Like, honestly, if you don't believe what I'm saying, Google and look at the statistics to everything I just said. It's not coming from a place of hate or trying to win a battle or try to one up anyone or add fuel to the fire. It's just explaining it from a woman's point of view, because sometimes when women talk about their experiences, men always feel like we're attacking them. Men always feel like we are dragging them or saying men this, men that, men are trash. But you have to understand that not all the time we want to fight. And we're honestly just sharing our personal experiences. It's not like, sometimes you have to really step out of your ego and understand that it's not an attack on you. Like, I know you want to fight for your gender and you feel proud and masculine. You have to learn how to calm and tame your ego, because what I'm saying, a lot of people will honestly not listen to it and ignore everything I'm saying because of their ego, because I triggered something inside of them. And if that happens, that means you have to heal something inside of you. I think at the end of the day, it stems from harm in any department: physical harm, mental harm, emotional harm, spiritual harm. If you're harming people in any of those ways, no matter what gender you are, you're wrong. Women, stop using men for their money. You know, if a man wants to offer to do things, I think as a gentleman, a man should take care of his woman. I do think that. But like, women, don't manipulate your way and into a man's heart or into a man's lust, or, you know, and just use him for his money if you don't actually like him. Because I feel like if you did like a man, like genuinely, and he liked you back, I think like he would not have a problem spending money on you. I feel like you don't have to manipulate your way for someone to do something for you, because it's not natural and it's not going to flow. And at the end of the day, like, the truth is always going to come out, and you are always going to get your karma. A lot of people forget about karma. You know, if a man abuses a woman, he's going to get his karma. If a woman abuses a man, she's going to get karma. You know, but sometimes karma is not always shown immediately. And, you know, just because you do get your karma doesn't mean what you're doing is not wrong. I think people need to stop abusing and using each other. And you have to really think about the other person and really put yourself in that other person's shoes, and stop living life selfishly to itch off or scratch off a need of yours. You know, like, if a woman wants to be celibate, and if a woman doesn't want to date men and she gives her reasons to why, if you're a man, don't attack her. Respect it and learn from what she's saying. And, you know, vice versa. We need to learn from each other and take what we're all saying into consideration. That's how we learn and grow and understand each other more. If we're coming from a place of hate, we're never going to hear one another out. You know, men, like, a lot of women want to go celibate. Like, kind of question why they want to. Because if women aren't feeling that love when they're physically intimate with a man, and they'd rather just be celibate, like, question that. Don't be mad or assault them even more, or say, oh, if you're not going to give in to us, we're going to assault you or harm you or not protect you. Understand why they want to go celibate. And, you know, I've noticed that, going back to the point, if women are love, I noticed that sometimes men can only express their emotions through physical intimacy. And, like, that's not what a woman wants. A woman doesn't want to feel like that's the only way you know how to love her is through physical intimacy. You know, it's crazy because, like, a woman can be celibate for years and months and all that stuff. But how long can a man be celibate? And it's not comparing the two, but it's about the self-control, and it's about self-love, honestly. And you know, when I say women are love, I think women can really regulate themselves emotionally if they took the time to do it. We all can. But like, women, we already have those nurturing capabilities. So, you know, she can love herself. She can be with her girlfriends. We could be emotional. We can cry around each other because, you know, emotions are acceptable around women, which it should be like that for everyone, but it's not. But man, like, I feel like men do get their emotional release and their emotional nourishment from women, either through physical contact or, you know, expressing your emotions to your woman, or just showing your woman love in general. But can men really do that? Can you really show love to your male friend without being called weak or without being called the P word? It happens, yeah, and men love their bros, but you can't be physically intimate with your bro. You know, like, understand when women are telling you guys, like, we want to be celibate. Like, respect it and kind of understand why. Because women aren't feeling the love from you guys to want to be physically intimate with you guys. And take that and learn from it, instead of belittling women and saying these things about women, saying you're going to forcefully take something from a woman just because she doesn't want to give it to you. Understand why she doesn't want to give it to you in the first place. Like, if we're really understanding one another and talking to each other, there would be less problems. But people don't want to do that. People don't want to set aside their pride and set aside their ego to do that, because I feel like men feel like they're higher than women. Men feel like they don't have to explain themselves to women. Men feel like they don't have to listen to a woman. And women, stop coming at men with hate and stop coming at them, thinking that you know more. And even if you might, like, I am just speaking how I feel. And if I ruffle some feathers, I ruffle some feathers. But we have to understand that it goes both ways, and it stems from abuse. But it also stems from emotional intelligence. And if one gender has more emotional intelligence than the other, don't you think that means something? Don't you think you should listen to one another and try to use your strengths and use your weaknesses to work together? We all, at the end of the day, man and woman complete each other. At the end of the day, masculine and feminine complete each other. But if you're living in more masculine and living in more feminine, how are you going to complete each other? How is it going to be in balance? Because when it's imbalanced, that's when problems arise. And obviously problems are arising. I guess, like, we both don't feel safe as a gender. Women don't feel safe mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Women just don't feel safe, I'm going to be honest. But I guess men don't feel safe either. But it's just like, I feel like as a man, as a quote-unquote leader, you're supposed to lead and you're supposed to protect. I think that's in your nature, to be so physically strong. I think you're supposed to protect, and I don't think you should abuse your power. And I think why there's a lot of problems going on nowadays is because of that abuse of power and that imbalance of power. If you think about it, we all can do the same thing. I think we all can love the same, and we all can hurt the same. I guess women not as physically as men, you know what I mean? Because we're not as strong. But, like, if you really take a step back, like, there was a study that I saw, and there were these two twins. They were raised secluded, they were homeschooled, and they weren't raised with gender roles or anything. So the mom and dad raised the daughter and the son the same way, because the twins was one girl and one boy. And the girl grew up to be strong and dominant as well as the son. And the son grew up to be nurturing and empathetic as well as the daughter. They were honestly the same way. They had their, differences obviously in personality, but at the end of the day, they were the same. And I think a lot of the reasons why women and men think this way and have this perception is because of society and gender roles and what we have been taught. Because if you strip everything back and strip everything down and go into your heart and your soul, you're going to find out we have more in common than not. You're going to find out we hurt the same. I think women are innately more emotional, but I think nature and nurture can change that, as well as men. I think a lot of upbringing and abuse and what you go through and how you're loved and how you experience love, I think that all plays out in you as a person. But I think it's wrong for someone to be abused and then to take that abuse on other people, especially of people who have less power and less privilege as you do. I think that's terrible, to abuse any power you get. With power comes responsibility. You should be using that power. You should be using that privilege, that advantage to uplift humanity, to change the world, to do something with that power. But instead, it's the opposite, and it's the abuse of that power, Nothing I say can truly change someone unless they want to change, and I'm over the whole, like I said, the gender wars and the race wars, because I live a very peaceful life. I don't want people to think that I'm making these videos because I'm bitter. I've healed, and I think healing is a process, and you should be healing and taking steps to heal every single day. It's not a destination. Healing is a journey. I'm very content with my life. I'm very content with the relationships I have in my life, and I do have really strong relationships with males in my life, advisors, mentors, father figure like in my life. So there's no hate that I have for males, no hate at all. But like I said, I'm not blind, and I do see what is going on in the world. In life we all have different realities, and my reality is very peaceful. I post my content and I unplug. I go off social media and I continue to work on myself. I work on my passions, my hobbies, what makes me happy. So I'm not this bitter, hurt woman. But I am seeing what's going on in social media, and just because it's not happening to me doesn't mean I'm not going to speak about it, because that makes you a bystander. If you're seeing the injustices in the world and you're doing nothing and not speaking about it, it kind of makes you just as guilty in a way. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. I don't have to speak on any topic, I don't want to speak on. I don't have to do it. But, I choose to. It may ruffle some feathers. It may trigger some people, but understand why you're getting triggered and try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Because, at the end of the day, we're human beings. We are children from God. We are meant to love. Love is life. I always say that. Love is life. And when you connect with your emotions, when you connect with your heart, when you connect with yourself, you then see things clearer. You then see things from a clear perspective, a healed perspective. So this video is not hate for anyone, any gender, And, if you want me to make more videos about this, I will. There's so many things I want to touch, and I probably forgot so many things. But let's not fight, and let's not drag anyone down or belittle anyone, because I'm just speaking from my perspective and speaking from my opinion, speaking from my experiences, speaking from statistics, and, just speaking from what I've seen in this world and how the state of the world is. Anyone who's not blind can see the treatment of people, the treatment of women, children, animals, I guess even the treatment of men. Anyone can see it. So don't lie to yourself and say women aren't experiencing this or men aren't experiencing this, Because at the end of the day, you're not them, and everyone's feelings are valid. So always know that, Hopefully I didn't ruffle anyone's feathers too much. I'm still very peace and love. I still want the best for everyone. But I did just want to touch on this topic a little bit, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and you all take care.